So this is gonna be a new form of content, basically for the channel. It's basically gonna be story time content. And today we're gonna cover how I met a fucking drug dealer, gang leader that was on drugs, right? Like not just any drugs, just like the Breaking Bad type of blue stuff, you know. So I needed a roommate, so I found my roommate. Who ended up being my friend. So his name John. Okay, so me and John were like partying for like 2 weeks. And now I didn't know John was like a college student, right? So it turns out John never went to class, right? So he pulls up on the class. You know, first day of class, he's like, "All right, bro, I see you at the class." Da, 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 da. I'm like, "All right, cool." So playing the game, I say for like about an hour. Motherfucker come back. He like, "Yo," like, "Yo, what are you doing here?" And he's like, "Yeah, they kicked me out." And I'm like, "Why?" He's like, "I've been out of class for like 2 weeks straight." And I was like, "Oh yeah, makes sense, right? Whatever." So his mom gets super pissed, right? And she's like, "Yeah, bring your dumb white over here." Da da da. She takes us to dinner. It's all nice. It's all nice, you know. Me and her mom, me and his mom and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. So he ends up leaving for like 2 weeks and he's like gone with his mom. So now I'm at the apartment by myself. Okay. So I'm already working at this point. I had a job at fucking Burger King, dude. Fucking sucked. Hated my job. So I get off and I want to get high as fuck. Now in my pocket there's $11, right? That was just enough to get weed, or I can't get both, right? So if I got the weed, I couldn't get the lighter or the Rilla. So I was at like a dead end. I think I had a Rilla. Anyway, not the point. Not the point. So I get the weed and I'm like, "Yo, I know this camp of like homeless dudes that be behind my house, so I can get the weed." And you know what I'm saying? And I can pull over there and spark my shit. So I go back there at the roll my shit. You know what I'm saying? And then next thing you know, I go in the woods. None of the usual white people I see in there are there. Now I only been there like 2 times, maybe. I'll only to be nosy because I've seen people back there. All right, so I go into the fucking woods where the rock is, and there's this like one Hispanic looking motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? He's bald, got a white beater on, got tattoos on and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't scared. Ain't nothing new. You know what I'm saying? So I walk up, I'm like, "Yo, you got a light?" He like, "Yeah, what's up?" All right, so no. I roll up, spark my shit, and we get to talking, we get to sparking that conversation. You know what I'm saying? Now it was like a long time ago, so like I might get some of the stuff wrong, I might miss some of the stuff, but I think all the important points to the story I remember. This is a real ass story, deadass. So he's telling me who he is. He was the leader of this Northeast Side gang, but I don't know. It was something like Mexicans or something. And he's telling me like Mexicans are the real people, bro. They're just rambling on. You know, the funniest thing that I remember from that point in the conversation, he was like, "The only thing you're not allowed to do is laugh in my presence." You know, I thought that shit was funny. Now, when I'm like awkward and I'm like anxious, not even just anxious or just like uncomfortable, you know what I'm saying? I get the, you know what I'm saying? So, he hears it and he starts getting like real pissed, bro. Well, honestly, it just made it funnier. Like I just started geeking even harder, and he's like, "Oh, you think this is a game, huh? You think this is a joke?" And I'm like, No. It's just, So eventually, he ended up giving me a nickname, bro. My nickname was Sangrisa, bro. Sangrisa, bro. I typed that shit in. Means smiley. Oh, the fucker just called me smiley, bro. I can't believe this shit. So, shit was cool. Like he was real funny. You know what I'm saying? I was just laughing at him. And I was like, "Yo, you wanna hit the blunt?" And he was like, "Nah, I can't hit that. I just got out of jail." Points down. I look down his ankle monitor on his leg. I'm like, "Oh, what the fuck? Nigga just came out of jail." But like, what's going on here? Anyway, whatever. So I'm trying to think in my head, like, did he just escape, or is he on bail, or like house arrest or something? Like, what's going on? Whatever. Never tells me. So I asked him, I'm like, "Yo, You want to smoke this blunt with me? He look at me, look at the blunt, and he like, nah, you know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting there, I keep smoking my shit. Now, I think he said no because he thought it was like it was laced or something. He was like looking out.
Stupid, I'm not gonna let you get the chance.
Which makes sense and doesn't make sense in hindsight, because he eventually started smoking with me anyway. You know, I know he didn't give a fuck. You know, I'm looking at him, looking at his life choices. Obviously, he doesn't care. You know what I'm saying? Of course, he was gonna take that blunt, bail or not. He was gonna take that blunt. House arrest or not, he was gonna take the blunt. He's on house arrest, but he's in the woods. Like, you think he gives a fuck? So obviously, he's just checking if it was laced, right? So everything's cool. We're smoking the blunt. We ha ha he he. But you know, we're not allowed to laugh. So we're dead serious in the conversation. Right? Next thing you know, this other Hispanic dude popping the cut, right? So it's just all three of us sitting in the cut now, right? So he's like not paying me any attention. We're still talking until he pulls out this bong looking shit, and this it looked hard but soft at the same time. Like, you'll see what I mean. He ends up like smoking it, right? And after, like, the smell like protruded my nose, bro, it was like the worst smell, the smelliest smell I've ever smelled. It was so bad. And like the dude I was talking to originally, he smelled that shit, stopped talking to me right there, dead of that shit, ran over to the Mexican dude. They start blah, 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 all that shit in the native language and shit. So I'm sitting there looking at him like, damn, what the fuck? Damn, bro, like, what is going on? Anyway, I'm like, should it be time to leave or something like that, blah, blah, blah. I guess not. I guess I'll just chill, smoke my blunt, you know what I'm saying? So it was like maybe a minute conversation while they were talking or whatever. So then he calls me over to talk to both of us at the same time. Now we're switching back to English, right? And he was like, oh, I can give you some opportunities that could help you and shit like that. And he's like, do you stay near here? And I'm like, yeah, I stay down the street. And that was not the smart thing to say and all that. But the other guy's like, yeah, I stay around here too, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, hey, you mind if I, like, keep drugs in your house? And I'm like, what the fuck? And, you know, I really look at him to make sure he's saying the same thing I'm hearing, right? Like, keep drugs in my house, right? Then he's like, I'm like, nah, I don't want to do that, right? He's like, why not? I'm like, I don't think my roommate would be cool with that. You know, we come back from his trip, and there's like 3 kilos of Colombia's finest sitting on the desk, right? And he's like, well, call him, and you know, I'm pretty sure the prices I'm offering, he'll be okay with it, right? So I know my roommate's a fucking idiot, right? Remember at the beginning of the story. So knowing him, like, I remember I saw this guy John, whatever the fuck I named him, finding a goddamn tree. You know, like, he was sober, I'm pretty sure. Bag of fucking rocks. So I was like, yeah, okay. So I put my phone in airplane mode, called him up, go straight to voicemail. Obviously, I showed him that part. I'm like, yeah, I went to voicemail. Blah, blah, blah. You know, crisis diverted, thank God. Right? He's like, then he just keeps going. He's like, oh, what about $10,000? Can I offer you $10,000? I'm like, to do what? You know what I mean? Go to jail for 10K. But he's like, but when you go to jail, you have drugs stuffed up your butt, so you can sell them, right? And then I'll pay you 10K for delivering the drugs to jail up your butt. So I'm like, no, I'm not doing that either. You know, this is weird. Like, this conversation just got weird. Okay, the drug thing in my house, one thing. Okay, drugs up my butt, no, absolutely not, absolutely not. So he keeps going. He keeps fucking going, guys. He keeps fucking going, right? He's like, how about you stay with my cousin? You can sleep on his couch in Mexico. The fuck? No. He's like, how about I'll pay for you to go to school? Oh, hey, that don't sound too bad, you know? Yeah, it sounds pretty good. He's like, but you gotta help my homies get out when they get in, you know, sketchy spots. And I'm like, nah, this guy is fucked. Like, this is like, I don't know, this is a goddamn super villain I'm talking to over here. So I'm like, yeah, it's time to start plotting my exit strategy. You know what I'm saying? So the Mexican dude beats me to it first. He's like, yeah, I gotta go talk to my kids or something. Dips, leaves me with the crazy nigga alone. So I'm like, oh, come on, bro. Starts grilling me, asking me more weird shit, bro. I can't even remember all the other stuff he asked me. But I remember, I'm like, okay, it's time to start wrapping it up, bro. It's time to start going home. You know? And before I left, this is what he said to me. He looked me dead in the face and was like, if you leave and you come back and try to kill me, you better kill me. Because if not, I'll kill you. And then he's like, oh yeah, add my contact. What? Bro, I can't. The way he like spelled his name, like his name was like, let's say it was like Bangladesh, but it spelled like B3VL. It was all weird, bro. Like, he's obviously off that stuff. Like, when they were like talking to the other Mexican dude, they were smoking whatever that like he had pulled out together at one point, and I don't know if it was like the M1 or the C, you know, the white one, but they were smoking it, and then they would put it up their nose, like they were like, you know what I'm saying? It was really weird, and I'm like, why are you smoking that after you put it up that guy's nose like that? I don't know. But that was story time, bro. Like, subscribe, all that. Appreciate it. Thanks for being here. New type of content I'm working on. Yeah, all that. Nice.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.